What is up, everybody? SysAdmin Sean here, and today we're doing part 2 of our employment series, I guess we'll call it, where we're going to talk about we found a job that we want, so we got to build our resume to make sure it fits the job that we're trying to apply for. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we are. We found our job. We have information about the job here, all this important stuff: salary, soft skills, technical skill requirements, experience, duties. This is stuff you'll do. This is stuff you need to know how to do. This is stuff they prefer and could really use experienced people in, so on and so forth. So we got to go and make a resume. Now, you should learn how to make a resume in Word. Take a course on Office if they offer it in your college, if there's a community college course, whatever. But if you want to really get a resume out quickly, you can use this kind of site. And I'll put a link to this in the description. But it's basically a quick automated resume builder. You fill out the stuff on the left-hand side. That's all these different little headers. You can even add new headers, so on and so forth. If you have stuff you want to put in there, and then you can show and hide different things. Like I don't want to show volunteering, blah, 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 blah. So we started filling out this resume. First things first, you got to put your name in here. This lets you put in a picture as well. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. It just sort of depends on you. So get started with that, with your name, obviously pretty important, and your contact information and a headline. Now this offers a headline. You don't have to fill it out, but a headline is a good little one-liner salesman pitch about you. So mine is system administrator focused on YouTube content creation. Always proofread. Even after you finish it, read it again, have someone else read it, have them double check everything. So first you got to put in your contact information, your email, your phone number, your location. Tip number 1 for email: try to use a professional email. If you don't have one, make one. Whether that's your first name dot last name at Gmail, or first name underscore last name, or first name dot last initial at Gmail, something like that. Don't use something like this. This is a gamer tag email used for gaming services. If you need to, make a new email with just that and set up forwarding to your monitored email account, so you'll at least see those emails. If you get really fancy, allow delegation to your normal email so they can send as your fancy professional email. But be careful about that. So anyway, then they let you write a summary. A summary is more of a longer version of a one-liner. You don't need this either, but if you do, this is a good thing to include if your resume is a little light. The main goal is you want to try to stick to one page. So if all of your content fits in a page and you don't have a summary, cut it out. If you need to fill up like a quarter of a page, put it in. And then you can add profiles in here for different social media. They are going to look, so you can either show them which social media you're proud of, or they'll go find it. You know, and obviously keep your stuff reasonably private, especially if you've done dumb things on Facebook. You don't want people to see that. But your LinkedIn profile, they're going to check it. They're going to see if you've posted anything on LinkedIn. All that kind of stuff gets added up when you're being considered for a job. Next is your work experience. I like to have at least 3, but the longer and better positions are best. But again, if you don't have any work experience yet, then this is going to be a hard part. But internships work, co-ops work, student work, that counts. Put it in here. You know, show that you at least had a job and you did something. There's an argument to be said about gaps versus no gaps. This resume I went ahead and fake made has a huge gap in it. That could be a turnoff to a lot of employers because they're going to want to know where you were at. But a small gap like 6 months or a year, not a big deal. They get it. Then the next thing you want to do while you're working on your experience is you need to make sure that what you input here matches the job description, duties, and things of that nature. Let's go over to these duties and technical skills. Oversee installation, configuration, and maintenance of software and hardware systems. Okay, so they want somebody to do that. Do I have that in my resume? Yes, right here. That'll count for that. That'll count for that. Cool, got it. Monitor system performance and troubleshoot issues. Let's see. Troubleshoot networking issues. Boom, got it. Do I have anything that says monitoring? Boom, got it. This is the important part here. Look at these key roles: oversee installation, configuration, maintenance, monitor system performance and troubleshoot issues, implement and maintain information security protocols, collaborate with the team. So this is showing that, you know, that's how you go. Let's pick one of our other ones. Let's do YouTube. collaborated with team members on big video projects. Boom, I got that keyword in there. And that's something I can say I did. This is a keyword. Administer Azure Active Directory. They're going to look for these keywords in your resume. Now, what's good here in this job description is I'm not seeing years experience on any of this stuff. So if you're fresh, if you're a new admin and you only have like 6 months or a year or less than a year on any one of these things, well, they're not asking for years experience. They just want to see that you know how to do it. Now they might ask you questions during the interview, so you don't need to lie and say, oh yeah, I know Veeam, and then you don't know Veeam at all. Don't do that. But you want to make sure all of this information, oh, look, they're switching to Proxmox, gets on your resume. Soft skills. This one usually, you don't usually put this in directly, but sometimes you can. Like I would probably put strong communication skills, coordinated team event, or managed a team meeting or some sort of meeting, led a meeting, boom, you had strong communication skills. Problem solving and critical thinking, that's pretty general for all IT people, but you could put something in like solved major DR issue during blah, blah, blah outage. Customer service orientation, if you've worked tier 1, they know you're going to be able to work the phones. They know that you have customer service orientation skills. Adaptability and willingness to learn, you know, show that you have a lot of big, broad changes, like you've learned a lot of different things. You'll hit this. Teamwork and collaboration, that's just a catch-all that everyone should have teamwork and collaboration because you're going to need that in a real job. Other important skills, familiar with RMM, remote monitoring and management, and PSA, professional service automation tools. I've never heard of either of these, but if you've got it, make sure you put it on your resume. Cybersecurity best practices, check. Automation scripting. Again, all that needs to go in your resume. And what you're lucky about here is, with this job posting, you could put this in your skills section. Let's say you know Ansible, and you feel like you're level 3 with it, right? Boom. Now I've got automation skills on my resume. And they didn't ask for years experience, but if you have years experience you're proud of, you can add it in here. 6 years experience. Boom. That will tell them exactly how much you've got. Obviously, what you need to do as well is show in these descriptions something that said, let's go to Microsoft. Automated tasks to email tickets to proper next tier teams. Okay, so now I've got an automation task in here. I've worked at this job 2 years and I have 6 years of Ansible experience. I don't have this fully laid out yet, and that's probably not an Ansible playbook, but you get the idea that if they did want years experience, you're going to need to kind of show what in your work experience you automated or you did using Ansible or Azure or Office 365 or Adobe Premiere, you know, in your job description. That's really important to show where the work was done to justify how you can say you have 6 years experience with a certain tool. And then down at the bottom here, they have some preferred and required skills or required features. So you got to live in Chicago. So I'm already disqualified because I don't live in Chicago. I'm also not able to commute to Chicago. But if I lived in Chicago, I'd be good. Security clearance, confidential, preferred. That means you don't have to have it. But if you do have it, that is a big bonus. 3 years of VMware experience. All right, this is a good one. So see where it says preferred? So let's just go ahead and let's assume our Microsoft job was 3 years. Obviously, I hope they aren't only running VMware. Utilized VMware infrastructure to manage servers and VDI environment. Why not? We'll put that in there. Okay, so now we've got a job that has 3 years and it has the word VMware. And then let's go ahead and add in a skill here that says VMware. And let's say it's 5 years, just cause. Right? And we'll give us a level 5. We're really good at VMware. So there we go. Now we've shown that we have 5 years of VMware experience. We have a job that shows we at least have 3 years related to VMware. That's pretty important. And then of course, Active Directory 5 years. We're only showing probably 3 years of Active Directory experience, but you know, you get the idea. So then you get all this in here, and then you need to decide what stays and what goes. We're a little over the 1 page mark, which is a big red flashing light to me. So what we could do is we have automated formatting. So there's a 1 page version that's got some free room. So maybe we want to expand on our summary, or maybe we want to add something else in this column over here. We could go with this version, which looks a little messy in the 2 column row. So we could change this to columns 1, boom. Kind of thin looking. There's a lot of white space. I don't really care for that. So let's keep looking here. This one's not terrible. It's right at that edge there, but it all fits and it looks pretty good. This one's pretty reasonable. It's a little long. Yeah, it's going into that 2 page territory. So we could do the scales change. We could set this to like columns 3 and no, that's certifications and stuff are falling into that. I don't like this formatting. I'd rather stick with something like this, and then you set your scales back to 1 column. Nice and clean. Now, of course, you want to pay attention to details here. Our skills are kind of all over the place. They are sort of, let's get these at least in alphabetical order by strength. That way, you're showing off your top skills first, and then you're showing off your weaker skills, but they're in alphabetical order. So all of our top skills first, then a weaker skill and weaker skill, so that they can go down the thing. And ironically, I put Japanese is better than English on me, so that's not true, trust me. But that's what you do. So that's just a simple, basic resume build. And of course, once you get done, you can grab this as a JSON or a PDF, get the PDF version. Do not apply for a job and send them a doc file, a docx file, anything like that. It's frustrating to deal with. Now, if they specifically ask for it, fine. But otherwise, please apply with a PDF file. They're easy to read. They're easy to print. They don't require me to have anything installed on my system to read it. I can just click the file, it opens in my browser, and I can review your resume. So please, 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 please do that. But anyway, this lets you do all that. You can turn on sharing if you want to actually just send this link out to people. This is a really cool website. Let me know what you do when you're working on your resume. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think I should change on my fancy little resume here. What kind of tips and tricks have you used to spice up your resume to make sure that you get seen as opposed to other applicants? Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.